Good day and welcome to Predators Proclivity, where we look at data from the season for the NHL Nashville Predators and make comments upon it. I'm your host, Preston Proctor. Hey, previous game, Florida. Well, it's not Florida. So already, right off the top, the production staff has messed up. Yeah, I don't... not exactly sure. I did order more of those quantum squares. They have not shown up. But maybe my production staff really does. Once we get those caffeine protein bars in here, quantumsquares.com, use the promo code PREDSPRO for 25% off. And 25% off PREDSPRO. A box of 8 is $20, free shipping at $35. I'm looking at the site right now. What do they got? Peanut butter, dark chocolate, pink Himalayan salt, salted peanut butter crunch. And then what's left? I got, don't do that. Anyway, let's not take up too much time here. But yeah, so, boy, this site. Caramel almond sea salt, cafe mocha almond chip, chocolate chip cookie dough. That's the current favorite here in our household. I did order the variety, the big variety pack, so I'm going to get all of the different flavors in here and be able to comment on all of them. The chocolate chip cookie dough is the current favorite here in the household. And, I thought Prudence would like the caramel almond sea salt. That's kind of up her alley, but she really preferred the salted peanut butter crunch. So anyway, lots of different flavors, very convenient size. That's quantumsquares.com. Use the promo code PREDSPRO for 25% off every day of the year. So the previous game was not Florida. The previous game was Carolina. And I think I'll just eliminate this part of it because I talk a little bit more about all the different statistical correlations later. That's just, I think we'll make a judgment call here and just skip this, especially since we can't seem to get the production staff to pay attention to that. All right, tonight in the late game. A late game. Is it the latest game? I didn't think to take a look at this, but let's look at tonight's schedule. Tonight we've got it is Tuesday, a bunch of games on the slate for today. And yes, Nashville is the last game to start today, 8:30 Central Time. The game in Edmonton is starting before that. Buffalo at Edmonton is at 8 o'clock Central. A bunch of other games at 6. There are 3, 6, 10 games on the schedule tonight, but Nashville got pushed to 8:30. 8:30 start. Normally it's a 7 o'clock start, and it's during the week. It's a school night, people. I have to check up on that game in the morning. I'm just gonna say it right off the bat. I think by the end of the first period, you can stick a fork in it. Preds did play Colorado really well the other day, so it was surprising. They only got one. They got 2 empty nets at the end, so they did lose 3-0, and gave up 1 goal early. I think that was like 15 seconds into the game. I think Brent Burns from San Jose. Big bearded dude. He wears the playoff beard year round. Good player, never liked him. Like I said, he played for the Sharks, so no way to like. Tough to like somebody that plays for the Sharks if you don't like them before they go to the Sharks. At least the guy that played the puck from the bench. A story, if you guys haven't. I bring this up every now and then because we really hate San Jose, especially Couture. because he played the puck while sitting on the bench in one game against the Kings, and the announcers caught it, the players saw it, the refs didn't, apparently. Didn't call it. He didn't get a penalty for that, but he played the puck while he was on the bench, and then didn't even have the balls to fess up to it when he was asked about it in the interview. He's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. But clearly played the puck while sitting on the bench, and the refs missed it. Anyway, big fat cheater is what we call him. Anyway, but Couture does not play for Colorado. Brent Burns does, who did play for San Jose at that time. Anyway, so 8:30 tonight. Still can't get my head around that one. Colorado is maybe the late start, except Colorado's on a road trip, so they're probably used to this. But, I mean, that's more kind of in their wheelhouse. That's more like the time they would normally start. Anyway, first in the Central Division with 48 points. They are 21-2. And 6, 21-2-6. So they are 29 games into the season, and their losses and overtime losses don't even add up to double figures yet. On the road, they are 10-2-4, which they are on the road. So, their 2 losses and 2/3 of their overtime losses have occurred on the road. So that's a good sign. They are tops in the league. Tops in the Central, tops in the league. They are 3 points and 1 game, 3 points ahead, 1 game behind Dallas. Dallas has played 1 more game. And then third in the league. So Central Division has the top 2 teams. Of course, they're probably go to NHL.com. They'll be probably talking about McDavid or some Atlantic Division team. But yeah, here we are. It's like a couple of years ago, Dallas was like the best team in the league, and I'm watching NHL Today one day, and Mark Messier on there goes, "Gosh, this is near the end of the season. Gosh, nobody's talking about Dallas." Yeah, because you guys are so busy talking about the Eastern Conference, you couldn't give a rip about the Western Conference unless it's Connor McDavid. Surprise. Dallas is the best team in the league. Shocker, all season long. Boy, just can't quite scroll down past the Eastern Conference, can you? You're supposedly paid by the NHL, but you only care about half the teams. And he even played. He played for Edmonton. You'd think he'd give a rip, but nope, apparently not. Enough of that, huh? So Colorado's tops of the league and Dallas is second. And then 9 points down, and they played 1 more game, is the top team in the East, Washington. Yeah. All right. Yeah, guys, let's see. What do we got here? Up on the top, we've got Maple Leafs top the Lightning. Wild defeat Kraken. Hey, there's a second article. Gibson first shutout for the Red Wings. Avalanche driven by disappointment. Flames edge Sabres. Well, anyway, Messier lauds young talent. State of the game with the NHL in the Eastern Conference. Anyway, all right. Enough of that. You want more of that? Go back and listen to my podcast from a year ago with regards to the bias in the NHL with regards to how awards are given out. They love the Atlantic Conference. Love it. Love it to death, especially, what is it? Detroit, Boston, and Buffalo, I think, are the 3 teams that they really love. They probably haven't recognized the fact that those 2 Florida teams are actually in the Atlantic Division, and by the way, have won a couple of Stanley Cups recently. Anyway, I guess I wasn't done with that rant. But yeah. Also, something that might be interesting, it was a two-parter. The first part was a brief history of the NHL, which I did a bunch of research on the NHL in order to come up with a time period that would seem appropriate in order to do a comparison and do it accurately. And so I took all that data and created a podcast with a brief history of the NHL, basically just with the intent of justifying the time period. And then the second one was basically all of the awards, because it was just too much stuff to do in one podcast. It made sense the other way. But anyhow, so yeah, Colorado. For them, this is the last game of 4 on the road. They're 2-1. Woohoo! Another loss. Next up for them is a 2-game homestand. Thursday, Florida, and Saturday, the Predators. That's right. The Predators over this sorry, my throat was bothering me this morning, so I'm trying to quietly have a cough drop. But yeah, the 6-game this 6-game series, these 6 games, starting with the last game, Carolina, those 6 games are with 2 games with the same 3 teams, starting in with Carolina, and then Colorado, St. Louis alternate. The first 2 at home, and then we go to Colorado and St. Louis. Okay, it's a schedule. But anyway, yeah, so next up for Colorado, 2-game homestand. This is the second of 4 versus Nashville. This will be the last one in Nashville. Again, Saturday, the 13th of December, and then January 16th, the 2 games in Colorado. Last year, the home team did win all so far. That did not roll over to this year because Colorado won the first game here in Nashville on November 22nd, 3-0. For them, it was the 8th win of a 10-game winning streak. Since then, they're 4-2-0, and they have this thing of they lose 1 and then win 2. Lose 1, win 2, lose 1, win 2, and which would mean it's time for them to lose 1. Last year, for Colorado, they started the season with 2 goaltenders, finished the season with 2 different goaltenders, and so we got a game with all of 4 goaltenders that played for Colorado last year. Noonan was in goal in the first one, Georgiev in the second, Blackwood the third, and Wedgwood the fourth. Again, that was the home team won. We played in Colorado, then 2 in Nashville, and the last one in Colorado. So Noonan, the other way around. Nashville, then 2 in Colorado, and the last one Nashville. So Noonan got the loss, Georgiev got a win, Blackwood got a win, Wedgwood got a loss. For the speaking of Wedgwood, he just came off. He was listed as injured day to day as of the 7th, and he's no longer listed. So he listed and back. In the interim, on the 3rd, they did call up number 50 goaltender Trent Miner from the Colorado Eagles, and then on the 7th, they sent him back. So the first sign that Wedgwood was back was the fact that Trent came up and went back. For the Nashville Predators, they're 8th in the Central Division with 24 points, 10, 14, and 4. At home, 6, 8, and 2. In the division, they are 5 points behind St. Louis, who has played 2 more games. And St. Louis is tied with Winnipeg. And Winnipeg and Nashville have played the same number. Nashville is currently the last team in the league. Vancouver has got 1 point more than Nashville, but has played 2 more games. I guess Vancouver is playing the role of San Jose this year, or is it really going to be Nashville? But then another Eastern Conference team has decided they're tired of people talking about the bottom of the league but not having an Eastern Conference team to talk about. So Buffalo has volunteered to drop to the bottom. Buffalo, so it goes Nashville, Vancouver, Buffalo, and then Calgary. Calgary didn't like being in the bottom, apparently. I wouldn't like being compared to San Jose either. So Buffalo has 2 more points than Nashville, but has played 1 more game. Calgary's played 3 more games than Nashville and has 4 more points. For the Preds, this is the first of a 2-game homestand. Thursday, St. Louis comes to town. Probably should be a more normal start time. Just checking. 7 o'clock. Huh, what do you know? 7 o'clock. All right. For St. Louis. Then after that, there's 2 on the road versus these 2 teams. Saturday, Colorado. Monday, St. Louis. And then Wednesday, Carolina comes to town. This year, Saros was in goal in the other game, 0-3, 2 of those being empty net goals. It was the second of a 3-game losing streak. It was the first game after Nashville came back from Sweden. Last year versus Colorado, Saros was in goal for all 4. As far as personnel issues for the Preds, Smith, Leroux, Barron, Perbix, and Weisblatt are all out. Any of them, the 9th. Leroux and Perbix are listed as expected back today. I don't expect Leroux to be in the lineup. Like I said, if he comes off injured, the injury report, I think he's going to go to Milwaukee because they called him up and then he got injured. So he's been injured for long enough that he would probably need to at least go to Milwaukee to recoup, to build up to whatever, rehab in Milwaukee. And Perbix, hard to say, may come off. It says the 9th, and then, and then on the 7th, like Yossi came off a couple days early than what it was saying. So you never know. Okay, so that takes us to statistics. Now, I did start working on doing the special teams and the goal scoring according to per game, because I think, there's such a disparity in the number of games that teams have played when you look at home and on the road, and that can influence their rankings and some of the numbers, and it may not, they might be 29th in the league, but, they might be 32nd in the number of games they played. So it may not necessarily. And I don't have everything yet. I do have some more stats for the special teams. I'm working on the goals. I didn't quite get that done in time for today's podcast. Should have it for the St. Louis game. And I am just going to tell you, I'm probably going to be confused when I look at the data. Should get it right. I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but we'll see. But anyway, so statistics. The last game, Jiminy Cricket. Hurricanes really good at getting penalties. I loved the one where, who was it? It was Forsberg? The guy. Oh no, it was Yossi hooking. Now, yeah, he shouldn't. Yeah, he was reached out. He hooked him, and then Carrier grabbed onto his stick, fell down, and kept holding on to the stick, which should have been a penalty, but didn't get called. Yeah, I thought that was bad. And then they were really good at pulling penalties, but the The Preds were slow. I just started wondering if Colorado was just a faster team, because it seemed like they had so many breakaways. So many times it was by themselves in front, with speed coming in on the goaltender, usually Yossi. But, yeah, that was awful. Carolina against Carolina, Nashville lost the first, lost the second. They did win the third. They didn't get the first goal, and the winning goal was scored in the second period. Carolina got 2 power play goals. I think they got it just after a goal. They got 3 power play goals. Wasn't that what it was? It was just a brutal game. I think that's they got one goal when it was 4-on-4. Yeah, on 4-on-4 they got a goal. Nashville got a goal on a power play. They got 2 power play goals, and then they got a just after goal in the first period. So it was the game was just brutal. Don't want to talk about it, but I guess I just did. All right, let's head into the regular statistics here. The Preds are at home, 6-8, and they're not 6-8-2. I don't think did I update that? Yes, 6-8-2. Hey, what do you know? Okay. So they have played 16 games at home. So let's just focus on the record for home, because tonight is a home game. When the Preds get the first goal, and the Carolina game was on the road, so who cares anymore? We'll care about that on Saturday. When the Preds are at home, when they get the first goal, they are 4-2-1. Only one of those has happened in the second period, and they're perfect when they get it in the second period. 3-2-1 in the first period, so that's kind of a coin flip. But overall, at least it's leaning towards the Preds winning when they get the first goal. When they do not, it's 2-6-1. They do not get the first goal, 2-6-1. Happening in the first period, though, it's 1-6-1. So when the opposition gets their goal in the second period, the Preds win there. So the Preds are perfect when the first goal happens in the second period, but that's only happened twice. But yeah, if it happens in the first period, if they get it, it's kind of a coin flip. If they don't, to kind of stick a fork in it, it's 6-7-1 that they're going to lose, 6-1 that they lose in regular time. So not good. Not good when they don't get it here at home. Winning by period here in Nashville. It's kind of a coin flip between it being a tie and another result. And then that other result is a coin flip too. So it's 4-4-8 in the first period. The second period is a miserable 7-3-7-6. And I guess this is actually worse in the third, 4-10-2. So 3-1 that they're going to, the 2 ties, throw the 2 ties in with the loss. 3-1 that they're not going to win the third period, and then 4-1 that they're not going to win the second. I guess you could say the same thing. Was that 3-1, but at least there's a 4. I guess there's a 4. At least the first period looks relatively hopeful, but not the second and the third. If the first goal happens in the first period, the Preds are 4-0-3. So they have not lost the first period when the first goal has happened. When they have gotten the first goal. When the Preds get the first goal, they have not lost the first period here in Nashville, 4-0-3. In the second period, they are 1-3-3 when they get the first goal, and in the third period, it moves around the same numbers, 3-3-1. When they do not get the first goal, they're 0-4-5. So they have not won the first period yet when they did not get the first goal, and kind of a coin flip on whether it gets tied or they lose it. The second period, when they don't get the first goal, 2-4-3. It's not too bad. 1-7-1 in the third. So the prospects for the Preds do not look good here in Nashville when they do not get the first goal. They don't look all that stellar when they do, but when they get the first goal, and that does happen in the first period or in the period that we're talking about, they're 4-0-2 in the first when they get the first goal and it's in the first period. They're 4-0-2. When they get the first goal and it's in the second period, they're 0-0-1. So they tied that game. That doesn't sound right, but let's just go with it. So they tied that period. They tied the period. When they do not get the first goal and it's in the first period, they're 0-4-4. And when they do not get the first goal and it's in the second period is 0-1-0. Obviously, if the first goal was happening in the second period, the first period would be a tie. So, not real surprising there. Winning by period, just did that. Result correlations. Oh yeah, I don't know. My mind didn't go to that directly at all. But here we are. Okay. Why do I have that graph in there twice? I don't know. Second and third. Oh, that's second and third. One lost and tied, correlating. I've got this one graph where I correlate results from the second and third. I haven't looked at that. It's not really where I would want to look at that anyway. But, all right, correlating how the results of the periods go to how the results of the game. The first period, they have won the first period 4 times. It's a coin flip on whether they win the game, but it is 2-2. When they lose the first period, they've lost the game all 4 times. And then the 8 times that they have tied the first period, it's 4-4. In the second period, 3 times they've won the second period, but they are only 1-2 in those 3 games. The 7 times they have lost the second period, they're 1-6 in those games, and then the 6 times that they have tied the second period, they're 4-2. So I guess, I was talking about how it's hard to pull to tie, but I guess that's here in Nashville, you kind of pull for ties in the first and second period. In the third period, 4 times they've won the third period, they're 3-1 in those games. The 10 times that they've lost it, 1-9, and the 2 times that they've tied it, 2-0. As far as removing empty nets, and then what was the result? So removing empty nets, 4 times the Preds have won, and it's 3-1 still. That doesn't change. The number of lost third periods decreases from 10 to 6, and they're 1-5 in those 6 games, and then 6 times they would have tied the third period without empty nets, and they're 2-4 in that circumstance. Correlating the first and second period, which I still think is more interesting than correlating the second and the third, but I have to check that out. Anyway, so correlating the results of the first and second, let's see, there's a lot of data points here. Let's see, 7 times they've lost the second period, 6 times they've tied it. Those would be the 2 columns that are the most. Of course, tying the first has 8, and fairly evenly spread between win, lost, and tied, 2, 3, and 3. But when they've tied the first and won the second, they have not won. They didn't win either of those games. Tying the first, losing the second, 1-1 and 1, and then tying the first and tying the second, they're 3-0 and 0. That's their best scenario still. Once they've won both periods and they won that game, twice they have won the first and lost the second. They lost both of those. They've also lost the first and lost the second twice and lost both of those. So when they not good results when they lose the second, regardless of how things happened in the first. And then not too good on tying. If they win the first, tie the second, that happened once. If they lose the first and tie the second, that's happened twice, and they lost both of those games. So tying the second and either winning or tying the first is the best scenario because they're undefeated when that happens. So it's hard to pull for tying the second, but that is the best scenario here in Nashville, and that's goal scoring, so we don't want to talk about that yet. But what we will talk about now is the winning goal. The winning goal here in Nashville, 31% of the time, the third period. 5 times. So 4 times, though, it has happened in the second, 3 times each in the first and overtime. So it's still pretty bunched up, I'd say. In that regard, when the Preds win, evenly spread, 6 times, 1 in each, but twice in the third. When the opponents win, still spread out pretty well, twice in the first and overtime and 3 times in the second and the third. So there's no real clear period being listed yet this season for Preds games. When looking at the home team winning or the road team winning, both of those circumstances has happened 14 times, so very even there. Road team winning 43% of the time, it's in the third period. That's twice as much as any other period. Twice in the first, 3 times in the second, and overtime. The home team winning, very even, 3-4, 3-3-1. So 4 times in the second period, but 3 in the first, third, and overtime. So that's very still continuing to be hard to discern how that's going to happen. Goal scoring here in Nashville, the Preds are even with the opponents in the first period, 14-14. Definitely an advantage going to the team that wins. The Preds have a 4-goal advantage when they win. The opponents have a 4-goal advantage when they win. Moving to the second period, the Preds are being outscored 13-17 in the second period. No real surprise there. When the Preds win, they are outscoring their opponents 6-4, which is not a lot. When they lose, they're being outscored almost twice as much, 7-13. Moving to the third period, the Preds still, when they win, still 6-4. So 6. There's a consistent 6 here. When the Preds win, when the Preds have won here in Nashville, they have a combined goals of 6 in the first, second, and third period. The opponents have 2, 4, and 4. So 6-4 in the second and third when the Preds win. Overall, though, in the third period, they're being outscored by 9, 13-22. That's a lot. When they lose, they're being outscored by more than 2-1, 7-18. So very consistent there, too. When they lose, they've scored 8 goals in the first, 7 in the second, 7 in the third. So that's nice and even, consistent scoring. That's just not what we're – well, I mean, I guess it's consistent. If it was leading to more victories, it would be better. Going back to the scenarios of how are they performing when they come into the second and third period, winning, tied, or losing, there's a pretty decent distribution in here. Winning, they have come into the second and third period 4 times winning those periods. The Preds are even with the opposition 4-4 in the second period. When they come into the second period winning, when they come into the third period winning, they are being outscored 3-7, which is even worse, as one of those for the Preds is an empty net goal. So 2-7. When they come into the third period winning, they're being outscored 2-7. Again, that's happened 4 times. When they come into the second, third period tied, 8 times for the second, 4 times for the third. So in those 8 times in the second period, the Preds are being outscored 8-10. That's relatively close, at least. When the 4 times that they've come into the third period tied, evenly distributed 3 goals to 2, no empty nets in that scenario. So the Preds are somewhat in 4 games outscoring. I mean, 4 times it's happened, there's 5 goals total. Not a lot of goals scoring in the third period when they come into the third period tied. That's interesting. Coming into the second period losing has happened 4 times, and they've been outscored 1-3. So that's not coming to the second period losing. There's not a lot of scoring going on there. And then 8 times they've come into the third period losing, and they've been outscored 7-13, with 5 of those goals being empty nets. So 7-8, that's at least close, but they came into the third period losing. So that's not what you're really looking for. All right, let's head to the matchups. The Preds are at home. The opposition is on the road. And even though I've got, dag-nabbit, I did the work and then I didn't put it into the dag-nabbit. Well, I'm going to get to special teams, and I'm not going to have the new data that I just shoot. It was going to be great, and I don't have it on the share drive yet, so I can't access it in my studio. Well, dag-nabbit, I preluded this new data, and I don't have it. Well, I guess we'll have it all, get the production team on that. Hopefully those quantum energy squares will be in by then, and we can get this data into my script so that I can see it, get those spreadsheets uploaded to the share drive so I can see them while I'm here in the studio. But we'll just go with what we've had before. So just forget that I foreshadowed new data. Matchups, yes, the Preds are at home and Colorado is on the road. So both Colorado and Nashville have played 16 games in their respective condition. Colorado 16 on the road, Nashville 16 at home. Home games range from 12 to 18. Nashville being at the top of that range with 16. There are 2 at 17, 1 at 18, and 6 at 16, so there are 23 teams below, which means there's 8 teams tied or above, right? Same situation for Colorado. They've played 16 games, which is on the upper end of the scale. Florida still has down there with only 10, but 4 teams are at 16, including Colorado. 3 have 17, 1 is 18, and 1 is 19. So 23 teams are below Colorado. And then I guess actually 5 teams are above and 4 tied. So it's very similar location in the league with regards to number of games played. So where are they at? So Colorado is second in the league in scoring on the road with 54 goals. 54 goals. Ooh, boy, nice click there. 54 goals, that's an average of 3.38 goals a game. And on the road, the average is 3. So they are well above average. Not surprising that they are the top team in the league. So in the first period, they are only 6th in scoring with 15. In the second period, 2nd with 19. And then the third, 9th with 18. So you have to say their numbers are pretty close to being right around where they are at with number of games played in the league. And taking a look at the the per game numbers 0.9. So they're scoring about 0.94 in the first, and the average is 0.85. In the second, they are 1.19, but the average goals for in the second period on the road is 0.96. So that's significantly above. That's almost a quarter of a goal higher. The third period, 1.13, and at league average, 1.11. So definitely the third period, they are more normal. The second period, definitely scoring up for them, and the first period, a little up. Of course, they did get their goal in the first period in the last game here in Nashville, and they did not score in the third. The Preds did, though. Goals against for Colorado, they're averaging 2.25. Goals against, they have given up 36 goals, which is 23rd in the league. So even though they're one of the top teams, 24th in the league, but giving up 10 in the first, 21st in the league, giving up 14, and 30th in the league, giving up 9. So not even double digits yet in the third. But, the Preds didn't score at all against them, and I guess you can kind of see why. League average, their average scoring 2.25 to a league average of 3 goals against. And then in the first period, goals against 0.85, and they are at 0.63. The second period on average, 0.96 to a 0.88. And nope, those are home numbers. 0.88 in the first. Oh yeah, the numbers are pretty decently different. So league average 0.88 on the road. They're at 0.63 in the first. In the second, league average 1.04 goals against, and Colorado is at 0.88. So that's what's that 0.16 difference there. And then in the third period on the road, giving up 1.06, and and Colorado's given up 0.56, so about half. Surprising they're only 30th in the league, but that's where the goals per would probably, if I had that data, would probably tell me that they are the least scored against team in the league given goals against per game, and so I'll have that kind of stuff next time. The Preds, again, they are one of the top teams in the league with regards to number of games played. However, goals for, they're 19th in the league. Remember, there's 23 teams that have played less games than them. 19th in goal scoring at home with scoring 41. 11th in the league, goal scoring in the first at 14th, 18th in the league in the second with 13, and 23rd in the league in the third with 13. All of that. Well, let's just see. Is it below? Is it average? What is it? So overall, goals for 2.56 versus 3.06 league average. The first period, Preds are scoring 0.88 goals a game, league average 0.87. So they are right there at league average, at least in the first. In the second period, 0.81 goals scored, league average being 1.04. So down about a quarter of a goal. And then the same in the third, 0.81 in the third, but goal scoring on average for the league 1.06, so definitely below. They make up for it in goals against, so you still want to have you want to have the right number of goals in your game. So if you're not scoring them, you got to give them up. The Preds have given up 3.44 goals a game, league average 3.01, so close to half a goal per game more. In the first period, that's not where it's happening. They are giving up 0.88, league average 0.85. In the second period, they're giving a 1.06 to a league average of 0.96, so that's tenth of a point up, tenth of a puck, tenth of a goal. And the third period, 1.38 goals against to a league average 1.11. So a little bit better than quarter of a goal a game on average. So that's goal scoring in the matchups. Let's see, moving down here to special teams. Again, remember, Nashville and Colorado are fairly high. I do have my new data here, but Colorado, the penalty kill, talk about the penalty kill. When we're talking about percentages, I still believe that those percentages matter, even though may have played a certain number of games, but I think the percentages are fine. The Preds, Colorado is third in the league on the road in the penalty kill, 87.5%. They've given up 6 goals on 48 opportunities. They've gotten 1 shorthanded goal. So net, they are fourth in the league, kind of drop with only 1 shorthanded goal. And they are 25th in the league in scoring and 11th in opportunities. Or being scored against, and 11th in opportunities. So that's a good ratio. The Preds, at home, top penalty kill unit. First in the league, 90.2%. They've given up 5 goals against on 51 opportunities, which is 1 less goal on 3 more opportunities in Colorado in their situation. They play the same number of games, so we can just kind of don't need to average that out. Nashville has gotten a shorthanded goal, so net though they're second. Winnipeg, last I checked, had 3 shorthanded goals, so they were actually net the highest team in the league on percentage. The Preds have given up the 28th most goals in the league on the 3rd most opportunities, and we know how I feel about the 3rd most opportunities. But granted, they are in the top, there are only, 3 teams that have played more games than them. So you could kind of say maybe it's not as bad as it sounds, and I have that data in a spreadsheet I can't get to. So that's so both penalty kills pretty good. And the last game played, not sure how many penalties there were, but definitely. It looks like 3. The Preds had 3 opportunities in the last game, and Colorado had 2. The only special teams play were the 2 empty netters, so 3 and 2. It's not a lot of penalties for a game, but it's respectable. And no blood on either side, so I guess not really surprising. Power play. Colorado power play on the road is the worst in the league, 32nd, 9.1%, 4 goals, 4 on 44 opportunities. That's a shocker. Given all their goal scoring, they're not doing it. I think Dallas was the other way. Dallas had a lot of goals, but like 40% of them were on the power play. Not for Colorado, only 4 for 44. They've given up a shorthanded goal. So net, they are 28th. Net percentage is 6.8. I gotta look at that spreadsheet and see if there are 3 teams, 4 teams below them. Where in the world? What is their percentage? I gotta look that up. That's hilarious. But anyway, yeah. So they goal scoring 29th in the league on the road with the 17th most opportunities. So that's not a very good ratio. I don't want to curse anything and have Colorado score in the power play tonight, so I'll just keep my mouth shut for now. Nashville on the power play here at home, 18th, so middle of the pack in the league, 18.4%, twice as much as Colorado. 9 goals, 4 on 49 opportunities, so 5 more goals on 5 more opportunities. They have not given up a shorthanded goal. Net percentage, they are 15th in the league at 18.4%. 16th in the league in scoring on the power play with the 11th most opportunities. So at least those numbers are decently close. Still looking forward to having my per game average that I should have in this. I should have this today, but it's in the other room, and I apologize for leading you on. Okay, so that takes us to the people to watch. With Colorado, it is easy. It was easy the other times. Brent Burns was not on my radar. Yeah, that, boy. Yeah, Brent Burns, number 84, got the lone non-empty net goal. The empty net goals were scored by McKinnon and Drury. So let's get to it. Number 29, center Nathan McKinnon. He is tops in the league. You know, you go to the NHL.com and you start looking at stats, and the first thing, you know, and what they bring up is, you know, what's on there is the home is just, I guess, the overall. They got the top point getter in the league, which is Nathan McKinnon at 49, and the top goaltender with goals against, having played 9 or more games, is Jesper Wallstedt in Minnesota. Oh, good. Scott Wedgwood is third. Blackwood is seventh. So the two goaltenders coming into the game tonight are in the top 7 goals against average. Don't see the Preds goaltenders. Oh, and then the defenseman, Cale Makar. He's considered to be the top defenseman with points. Yep, we'll be talking about him too. And then top rookie, Beckett Seneca, I guess, with Anaheim, most points. Yeah, kind of. Oh, Matthew Wood. Hey, there you go. Matthew Wood, 10th in the league in points for rookies. Yeah, go Matthew. Anyway, number 29, center Nathan McKinnon, first. These are all road stats. He's first on the team with 12. Second is 7, so that's very significant. Second is number 8, defenseman Cale Makar, that we've already noticed. The other guy we're going to talk about, I'll just talk about him in a minute. But yeah, so number 8, defenseman Cale Makar, second on the team with 7 goals. He's first on the team with 14 assists. McKinnon is second on the team with 12 assists. That makes McKinnon first on the league in points, and Makar second on the team in points. Makar is first on the team in time on ice, and McKinnon is third. So he's the forward that's out there the most. So number 8, number 29, you know. And they're also first and second in shots. McKinnon first with 68. And then 26 shots down, 26 shots less is Cale Makar with second with 42. So that's 8 and 29. But number 88, center Martin Necas, he's third on the team in goals, third in assists, so third in points. But he's first on the team. They've got 3 players tied for first, but he's first with 20% shooting percentage. He's got 6 goals on 30 shots. The other 2, which include Jack Drury, the aforementioned Jack Drury, he's got also at 20%, 4 goals on 20 shots, and then Gavin Brindley, 2 goals on 10 shots. So not, yeah, and I guess Drury got an empty net goal, so that's, yeah. I mean, you know, I wouldn't normally mention Drury or Brindley, but at 20%, I had to note them anyway. I was going to explain all that, so there you go. So the 3 players to watch, 29, 88, and 8, McKinnon, Necas, and Makar. So there you go. McKinnon, Martin, Makar, if one of their names starts with an M. It's hard to tell the first name when you're looking at the jersey, though. For the Nashville Predators, here at home, the usual suspects. Number 9, left wing Philip Forsberg, first on the team in goals, first in points, first in shots. Number 90, Ryan O'Reilly, second on the team in goals with 5. So there's a 4-goal differential, 9-5. Ryan O'Reilly, and so he's second in points with 11. He is 6th on the team in ice time here in Nashville, 1947. He's the forward you'll see on the ice the most. Also, go to call out number 77, right wing Luke Evangelista, who's first on the team in assists here in Nashville, second in points, assists 8, points 11. He's second on the team in shooting here in Nashville with 36. Second on the team in assist is number 56, left wing Eric Halla. Yossi, the defenseman, the most time on ice, 23-15. Blankenberg, still the highest shooting percentage, 3 goals on 14 shots. Haha. So 21.4, but also making an appearance, number 49, left wing Reed Schaefer. 1 goal, 5 shots, 20%. So there you go. Momentum. What momentum doesn't Colorado have? They're 10-2-4 on the road. They have a 2-game winning streak. They're 2-1 on this road trip. Their last road trip was a single game. That was a loss, overtime loss, or shootout loss versus Minnesota. So their last road trip, they were 0-1. They are 3-0-3 versus the Central, having beaten Utah, Nashville, and Chicago, and then overtime losses to Dallas, Utah, and Minnesota. Nashville at home, they are 6-8-2. They had a 2-game winning streak broken by the last game. 2-game winning streak is the most they've had this year. Last homestand, they were 1-1, and they're 1-5-2 against the Central. They beat Chicago, lost to Colorado, Dallas twice, Winnipeg twice, and then overtime losses to Minnesota. That seems to be the theme here. Overtime losses to Minnesota. Overtime losses to Minnesota and Utah. So it's, I think, the Preds played Colorado pretty well the last time. I think being here in Nashville, I think the Preds have got some good momentum. That game against Carolina, I think the announcers, I'm going to agree with the announcers for once. I think they tend to get big wins and then they lose focus. And I think that's what happened. Getting the overtime win against Florida, and then just went to Carolina flat, and they need to find a way around that. I mean, 6-3, so they did score 3. They did win the third period, Carolina. I think the puck was just skating. Carolina had that backup goaltender and the puck just kept skating across in front of the in front of the goaltender across the ice. That goaltender was definitely out of position a lot, and the Preds just couldn't find the net. It was very frustrating game, and that's right. I remember. The game was going on at the same time as a couple of college, the SEC championship game and the ACC championship game. And so we were watching all 3 of those at the same time. Very frustrating watching the Preds. The puck just skating back and forth. But, hopefully they can still take some good momentum out of that and show up. If you can't get up for playing the Avalanche tonight, then they should stop playing hockey. The best team in the league coming in, doing really well, playing well, and the highest point scorer in the league coming to town. At least I think if there's a highlight here, it's that hate to say it, but kind of it's Colorado. They've got the riches of having scored a lot of goals, but McKinnon and Necas are on the same line, and then. Where's the other guy? Makar is a defense. Okay, right. Yeah, so McKinnon and Necas are on the same line together, and then Makar is on the first line of defense. So, it's kind of, once you get McKinnon off the ice, the performance slows down, but, still makes them a little easier team to guard, which everybody has seemed to have, really dialed in on that, right? That's why they are so many points ahead of, well, not Dallas, but everybody else. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, the Preds played Colorado. They should be getting up. It should be a very competitive game. Expect the Preds to be on their best behavior and have their best game coming in tonight. Game time, 8:30 Central. So if you are in an earlier time zone, it's going to be a late game. It's a late game anyway. I'll have to be checking on it in the morning because I know there's no way I'm going to be able to stay up. But anyway, there you go. Should be fun. Should be a good game. Looking forward to it. I know Colorado's a good team, but the Preds are no slouch despite their record. Thanks for listening. I'm Preston Proctor, and you've been listening to Predators Proclivity.